Romans author autographed copy. For those of you who live locally, if you could buy this from Romans, it would be a great 2-for-1. Many of you are aware that Romans put the word out last week. Man, we're on the edge. We need to sell some books, so we're going to go under. So it'd be great. Order it from Romans, and we'll do two things in one. I'm grateful and glad to welcome our first storyteller tonight, Mary Lee Carroll. Mary Lee.
Well, thank you for that, Rex.
Yeah.
You said the theme is spooky tonight.
Yeah.
And so I've got one for you. So, I'm the kind of person that has always lived in sort of a happy bubble. People are good. And if they're not, it's not going to really happen to me. And this mindset has served me pretty well. But there was one time that bubble really almost burst. The summer, I was 17. So my best friend says, let's go to Hawaii for the summer. And I remember running into the kitchen and asking my mom and dad if I could go to Hawaii for the summer. And God love them, they just said, that sounds awesome. Start saving your money and have a great time. But they wanted to know exactly where we were going to be the whole time. And so we were going to stay at Mrs. Brady's guest house in Old Honolulu. Well, we hadn't been in Hawaii for 2 days before we met these really great kids on the beach. And they told us all about how awesome it was to go hitchhiking and camping around Kauai. So what do? We took ourselves to the Army surplus store and bought sleeping bags and backpacks. We got a flight to Kauai. So we had never hitchhiked a day in our life, but oh my God, we took to it pretty easily. And we started camping, and we were camping on beaches, and we were camping in jungles, and we were camping in tree houses in jungles. And we were always falling in with wonderful kids from all over the place living off the land. Now, even though it was the era of sex, drugs, and rock and roll, we didn't really experience any of that. We were just having a wonderful time. And so we heard about this great place to camp that was up the island quite a ways near a waterfall, and wild bananas were growing all around it. And we thought, let's go there and check it out. So the day we started hitchhiking up there, we got kind of a late start. And no rides were coming, and it was now starting to get kind of dark. And we're standing there and so forth. And so finally, this man comes along and he picks us up. And we hop in, and he says, well, where are you going, girls? And naively, we say, well, we don't think we're going to make it to our destination. And so we're just looking for a place to stay tonight.
Ooh.
And he says, well, if you want, you can stay in my abandoned pineapple factory. So we all know what we should have said. But what we did say was, well, that sounds great. So we ride on with him for about another hour, and then he pulls over, and he lets us out, and it's dark, and he says, now just follow that dirt road down there, and pretty soon you'll get to it. And you can just sleep in the office. That's where the other kids slept. And he leaves. And so now we're standing there in the dark, and we start walking down this dirt road. And I get out my flashlight, and I'm looking around, and it's jungle everywhere. And we pretty soon get to this gigantic cement empty factory, warehouse factory, pineapple factory. And every window is broken out. The half of the roof has been torn off, and the door marked office is just like hanging on one hinge. And we step and we look around at this, and we're not saying anything, and we went in. The office didn't have any furniture in it. It had mattresses all over the floor. And Bridget and I, we didn't know anything about life, but she says to me, do you think they have orgies in here? I said, I don't know, but some of those mattresses, those in the corner, they've got blood on them.
Oh my
So
God.
we didn't go near the corner. And we said these like things to each other, like, well, it's not so bad. And, he was kind of nice. And, we kind of are lucky, right? And we said these other lame things to ourselves, and we unrolled our sleeping bags. And we're sitting there, and the silence is deafening. And suddenly, like, a twig snaps outside. And then some freaky jungle animal lets out a night call like, ah, 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 ah. And then we realize every time a car goes by on the highway, its headlights flash in through the broken window, and we feel like we have to duck and hide from it. And Bridget is continuing to try, like, it's not bad, right? Right. Right. It's not so bad. And so we get out our paperback books, and we thought, well, maybe we'll just try to read before, what? Fall asleep? I don't think so, but read. And we're trying to read, but my hearing becomes more acute in this environment. And I'm trying to read, but the rustling in the bushes outside, I'm thinking, oh my God, I think those are footsteps. Those are footsteps. And my heart is really pounding, and I'm listening and I'm listening and I'm thinking, wait, what's that noise in the hallway? Like, what is that other noise? And my heart is just pounding. And then suddenly out of nowhere, Bridget screams, and she takes her paperback and she throws it all the way across the room. And I say, what? She says, I can't take one more second of this paperback. I said, well, what is it? She says, Helter Skelter. And
Oh no.
I scream. And I scream. And then, man, the floodgates of fear, they just open up. And my mind goes crazy. And I start begging God to get us out of there alive. And that I promise him, I'll never take chances like this again. And that I get it, God, I get it. People can be bad. People can be really bad. And that, oh, my poor mom and dad, when they get the news, and we weren't in Mrs. Brady's guest house, and now I've squandered my life. And this goes on, I can't tell you how long, but at some point, my neck is so stiff, and I say, I gotta look out the window. I gotta see what's going on. And I try to turn my neck to look out the window, and I look out the window, and it's getting light. It's like morning is coming, and I'm alive. And I wake Bridget up, and I say, come on, let's get out of here. And we gather up our stuff, and we ran, man. We ran as fast as we could all the way back down up that road, but we could only run to the end of the dirt road. And then there we were, standing there by the highway, and the sun kept coming up, and the sun was quite beautiful. And like all of this resolve that I had been feeling and being overwhelmed with just like a little while ago, it just all started to kind of go away. And so what did we do? We stuck out our thumbs and we made our way to the waterfall.
Yeah.
That's it.
Mary Lee, thank you. Thank you.
Sure.
That was classic horror movie craziness. Oh yeah. Oh, mercy.